This episode is sponsored by Jacobson Real Estate Company. Are you ready to find your dream home? Or maybe you're thinking about selling and want the best deal possible? Well, look no further. At Jacobson Real Estate Company, we make buying or selling your home smooth, stress-free, and exciting. With 50-plus years of experience and a deep knowledge of the Winona, Minnesota area market, we specialize in turning your real estate goals into reality. Whether it's finding that perfect neighborhood, negotiating top dollar for your property, or answering all of your questions along the way, we're here for you. Plus, with our personalized approach, you're not just a client, you're family. So why wait? Let Jacobson Real Estate Company open the door to your future. Call us today at 507-313-2716 or visit our website at jacobsonrealestatecompany.com. Because your next chapter starts here. Buy, sell, invest. Jacobson Real Estate Company. Welcome to this week's edition of Brews and Crews. I am your host, Chris Jacobson, and today we've got a guy who grew up right here in Winona, Minnesota, left for 17 years, worked with some major players like Amazon and Walmart, consulted for NATO and the USPS, and then decided to come back home right here to Winona, Minnesota. Matt Schroeder, thank you for coming on in.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
You're welcome. And you know, what's fun about this is you and me, I would say we've gotten to know each other pretty good from trivia.
Yes.
Because aren't you part of the Diamond Dogs?
Oh, yes, the Diamond Dogs.
So those guys out there that are maybe listening, I got a Diamond Dog in here.
Oh, yes.
So they're one of the top trivia teams in Winona. And speaking of trivia, we usually have beer. So you have requested some Pseudo Sue. And Toppling Goliath, by the way, you've been on so many times. I think you should just become a sponsor.
Yeah, that would be a good one right there.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Local support over here. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, it's only like an hour. You've been here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of make an annual trip, actually, with that group of people, all the track coaches and kind of the Diamond Dogs and stuff like that, where we head down to Decorah, do a little bit of hiking.
Sure.
And end up always right here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is a good one. This is always a fan favorite. Yeah, if you haven't had Pseudo Sue, it's one of the smoothest ales out there.
It's so good.
I think it's like 5.9% alcohol or something like that, but it's really good out of the tap.
Yes.
That's always my favorite.
It's one of the best breweries to go to, I think, around here.
It's really cool.
Yeah, just the size of it and how much it's grown over the past years, it's crazy.
If you need a koozie, I got a koozie there for you. If you don't, the actual sponsor of the show, Jacobson Real Estate Koozies. I self-sponsor.
I like that. You got to do that a bit.
Self-sponsor, man. People are there. I know we've had some really good episodes come out lately, so this is gonna be fun because you have a really cool background where you left Winona, and as every kid in Winona always seems to say, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go to the bigger town. I'm gonna do that, and I did that too. And I didn't find that Atlanta, Georgia, was that amazing. It was a cool experience for 2 years. Now, you left for 17. That's different.
Yeah.
I went for 2 years, and I found that it was just like going there. It was really cool. There's a lot to do, but you had to time everything out because of traffic.
Yes.
It wasn't exactly the cheapest place to live in the world. I lived just outside of it, but I was only making like $8.75 an hour, and this is in 2012 to 2014.
I didn't know that minimum wage went that low about that time. Man,
was.
That's rough.
It was actually above minimum wage there. It was like, I think minimum wage was like in the
What
7s.
was your rent?
$700.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it wasn't that fun. But I was down there for the reason of wrestling. So I was there for a purpose of professional wrestling.
You got to pursue that passion.
And yeah, so that got me going. But anyways, you moved away for 17 years. Now, where did you head off to?
Well, I mean, it was school first. I mean, just going up to the Twin Cities, going to St. Thomas.
Okay.
That was kind of like the lead into it. And it just kind of so happened that, like, when I was in my senior year, I'd taken an internship with 3M at the time.
3M from Minnesota?
Yep, from Minnesota. So I did an internship my senior year and then got hired on by them. And it was basically like this rotational program, kind of accelerated management program where you go around and you're supposed to do projects at a couple different facilities. And that's basically your entire job. So you don't have like a typical day-to-day where you're doing like, you're an analyst and you're just running numbers and stuff like that. It was just these, what they call them as Greenbelt projects, like Lean Six Sigma projects.
Okay.
Is all efficiency stuff.
Sure.
And so you go to a site and then you're supposed to go to another site after a year. And it just so happened I got kind of the luck of the draw because you had people, friends of mine who I graduated with, like they were going to like Ewan, Alabama, Dry County, not amazing. You would go to Nevada, Missouri, things like that. And there was one out in Northridge that I just so happened to get, which is just outside of Los Angeles. So I ended up taking that, getting that offer. And so it was like the day after I graduated, my dad and I got in the car and we drove straight through to Vegas. I mean, we stopped for just gas, meals in the car, made it all the way to Vegas, and got there and thought we'd have fun, and we were just like dead. Like first time in Vegas, and I don't even go out. It's like, no, I got no energy. I just want to get there because I was starting work on Monday.
Oh, and what you left for what, like on a Friday or Saturday?
Friday, we left on a Friday. We got there and started work on Monday.
Work on Monday. And now where were you working at then?
So that was in Northridge, California at 3M.
Okay, so it was still a 3M facility.
Yep, so we had a 3M facility out there. It was interesting. It was cool. We got to come back all the time, like the group of us that was starting to train with each other and had been scattered all over the U.S.
Sure.
But this was 2007, and then
yeah, that's a while ago.
2008 hits.
Oh, yeah, the crash.
And there's no jobs. So we're coming out of our whole rotational program, expecting like some people are going to different sites, but then the jobs just completely jam up, and I'm looking at kind of the tea leaves and being like, there's not going to be anything for me here. They're getting rid of people that are in supply chain that have been here for 20 years.
Oh,
So no. You can kind of see this one. So I started kind of looking around the area, and I liked Los Angeles. It was fun. I had a buddy that's from La Crescent who I was living with at the time.
Okay, so you had a buddy out there too.
Yeah, he went to St. Thomas as well, and was 1 year ahead of me, and actually did his rotational program and then ended up in the same facility as me just by chance.
Oh, wow.
And so we ended up living out there in Santa Monica and you know, for a year and a half, almost 2 years. And really good experience, but I started looking because I didn't want to leave. I was like, 20, 22 years old. It's like, it's gorgeous out there. You get 20 days of rain basically a year, and you're just having some fun, so it's a good time.
Well, and so then what was your degree in?
Operations management. It's like supply chain.
Okay.
Basically. So I did that and I was like, all right, I'm going to figure out something. And that's when I applied to NBC Universal.
Oh, so you applied to it?
Yes, I applied to NBC because I was like, I don't want to risk not having something.
Sure.
And that happened to a lot of people that were in that program with me, is they were just left high and dry.
Yeah.
And, can't blame the company. It was just the economy of what it was. But I wanted to get out. I wanted to stay there. And I think it was, at that time, it was owned by GE, which was like a Jack Welch company.
Sure.
And, fire the bottom 10% of people. But they had an amazing program where it was like, if you get a job here, they'll essentially pay for your master's with just the signature of a manager.
Wow.
And so I looked at that, and I'm like, I always wanted to do this. Also, it's NBC Universal. It was a kind of a cool spot, and right outside the theme park at Universal Studios, right off the lot. And I was like, this is kind of cool. So
yeah.
let's see what this is all about.
Looks good on a resume, probably. I mean, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't see it very often. It's like I've not run across too many people in the industry. I mean, you're not seeing that here.
Right? Yeah, we don't have that here.
But they have. I mean, it's like similar roles that you see in every company and stuff like that. We were just dealing with a product that a lot of people like.
And what's that?
Which is DVDs and Blu-rays.
All right.
So NBC was. I mean, I was working in their home entertainment business, and it was, kind of in a boom area for the entertainment industry. There wasn't quite that whole streaming service to where it was really good yet.
Yeah, like Netflix was still, you order it, it comes in the mail, and it goes back.
Yeah, we still had the Blockbuster was still just starting to ship discs as well.
Sure.
I mean, Blockbuster, I remember the day I literally made a call where it was like, Blockbuster, we found out, was going bankrupt, And I made the call to our manufacturing site, which was like, no more stuff goes out to Blockbuster. Like, it's like they're
done.
They're bankrupt. It's done. Wild day of like trying to pull back everything, so because you're not getting your money back.
Sure. So if you shipped it to them, you weren't going to get any money back, or the company wasn't getting any money back.
Yeah, you weren't going to get any recourse on that one. So
you had to stop that immediately.
Yeah, it was like just stop the bleeding as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But it was interesting though because bandwidth wasn't quite up to speed yet to where like the streaming services were still grainy and it wasn't that great. So we were kind of hitting into kind of Blu-ray being kind of the next kind of big thing with the high def. We weren't quite to like the UHD stuff yet.
Sure.
But there's a huge market, and I mean, you're shipping out 10,000 shipments a day at certain points to every Walmart store, every Target store, and you're getting into kind of that mode of like, oh, you're paying a lot of attention to release dates. What's coming out, when it's coming out, how well did it do in theaters, all these different kind of things. So it was super wild.
So you were watching trends then?
Oh, absolutely.
About well, if this movie did hot, we got to start producing this one more, or how is that how it goes?
Yeah, you could get to kind of that point where you can kind of pinpoint how many discs are going to be sold and replicated and made just based off of kind of like certain parameters, like.
Yeah.
Was this a Will Ferrell movie that was coming out that did X number in the box office and is a comedy, not a drama, because those just won't sell as much.
A Will Ferrell drama?
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
There's just not as big of a market for it, so you don't see it. It's like you want him doing what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of like just on that point. It's like I remember sitting down with one of the. This is just randomly. I got invited to to meet the head of the studio at the time. Adam Fogelson, I think it was. He was the head of the picture side of things, and he said this one about Will Ferrell, which was fantastic. Where he goes, "This is right after Land of the Lost." It's
I don't think I do.
It's like a throwback to a TV show, Land of the Lost.
Okay.
And Will Ferrell's in it, and it bombs. It bombs. I mean, absolutely bombs. And we asked the question, I'm like, what happened there? He goes, well, it was pitched to me like it was supposed to be Jurassic Park with Will Ferrell in it. He's like, Will Ferrell's perfect when everything else is normal, and then there's just this one silly guy running around. And it's like fantastic. It was, but it's interesting to kind of see, like, you start to see the trends, and then you can kind of predict, like, yeah, this is how much we're probably going to ship out on this movie.
Sure.
And that ended up being sort of one of my jobs, where it's like you're forecasting replenishment and like you're trying to understand how much you're going to ship on a weekly basis.
That kind of goes on with your financial portion, because I know you've kind of given me a little rundown on how it works, and I'm still a little foggy on it, but you're watching for trends.
Absolutely.
And so that makes total sense why you're into financing. And we'll get to that later, but this is really a fun segment. So did you ever have to deal with VHSs at all? Or was that kind of out at that point?
We were just, the company I was working for, Technicolor, or that I worked for later on, Technicolor, they did do a lot of that at one point, but we were just past that. We were really into, it was really just a strong market for DVDs and Blu-rays. The VHS stuff kind of went to like small, little local kind of stuff and little mom and pop shops that were still making it, but it just wasn't a super efficient product. And
Sure.
Yeah, it's like... Not great.
A disc is probably a lot easier to make, I assume.
Lot easier to make. I mean, getting up and started, but yeah, a lot easier to kind of make, ship, process, and get through. Consistency is going to be there. Pretty low error rate, and so it's it's efficient.
So now that it came to the digital portion, as you talked about, how did that impact your job then? Because obviously you're not shipping anything; it's all digital, right? Or am I wrong about that?
No, it trended into that. So like I was with NBC I did my master's at Pepperdine, and then shortly after I left, and that would have been in 2013. So I was there from 2008 to 2013, and then I realized, I want to get put on a new hat because I see exactly that.
Sure.
I'm like, this market's gonna get whooped here in a second. It's like, we just had the Blockbuster issue.
Yeah.
We're now starting to see Netflix turn up a little bit. We have Redbox at the time.
I remember that.
Which that was really kind of making that they kind of disrupted a little bit to where I remember the president of our company, he was, whole company's in a room, and he's just like, F Netflix, F Redbox. So I leave for a couple of years and get brought back into it on the other side of the table for Technicolor a few years later, and they're all of a sudden, they're like the key players, like your Netflix and stuff like that. Now we're catering to them. We're doing whatever they want. And the tone just completely changed because it's like digital's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's caught up, and it's really getting really good. So now how do we take this, once rapidly growing business, and now we know it's declining? How do we basically end of life this thing and still do well as a company? So it's all about kind of like turning down the dials a little bit, getting more efficient with things, and it's like we know the end is near. Like
for
DVDs and Blu-rays,
okay.
like we know it's coming to an end at some point. It's just when will it? And ultimately, who dictates that's going to be Walmart.
Walmart dictates that?
Basically.
Are they
once they stopped selling in 2023, it was gone. It was like it was mass layoffs like right at that point. It's like we knew once Target did it first. Target went to like limited kind of shelf space. And then Walmart just turned off the dial. It's like you can get them in value bins and stuff like that. But it was like, do you remember, if you go to a store right now, do you see a section of DVDs and you just...
I do see one at our Walmart, but it's like one row of them now.
Yep. It's down from like when it was like 3 different rows of DVDs. And
I remember in high school, you go to the $5 bin and you could get like not a brand new movie, but one that was like a couple of years old. And I remember you search through the $5 bin, and now they still have, I still see it, but it's like one section of a row, I think.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it is a lot. Now, is that just like leftover stuff, or are they...
No, they're getting some like the new stuff, whatever they know they can, like, it's going to have.
So they know what they can sell. They don't want waste, basically.
Yeah, they don't want waste. So that space is precious right there. But yeah, we saw that shift, and we're like, okay, you go now, and what ended up happening in 2020 was we saw the shift from it being Walmart and Target kind of being the big players, to them reducing shelf space, to then one of our biggest customers ends up being Dollar General.
Dollar General?
Yeah, it's like there's like 22,000. There's so many stores. They have more stores than like any other convenience store. Like you're shipping to like 22. Like Walmart was 4,500 to 4,800 locations.
Okay.
Dollar General is like 22,000 locations.
Oh, I mean, I see them pop up in every little small town.
Yep, just little mom and pops, and now they.
What's up with that?
It's like those little it's like a mini Walmart.
It's a mini Walmart,
and so they start popping up because you don't have bandwidth in those little areas. That's really great.
Oh, sure.
And so they still have a market for selling DVDs and Blu-rays.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's a wild transition that I kind of went through. It was a crazy ride, seeing kind of like what happened and like the arc of everything of what was going to go down. And like, okay, who's the new players and where did Dollar General come from? And like, goodbye Blockbuster, goodbye. I mean, Redbox is on the same little trajectory of like, do we need these red machines anymore? I mean, I don't think so.
Not really. It was cool at the time, but it was like a kind of in my mind, it was kind of a short period of time. It was like 10 years maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I used it all the time.
I did too in college, but we liked to go there. And I remember Blockbuster was another one you could buy some used DVDs. And I think there's still one Blockbuster left. There was a documentary on like in Oregon or something. So there's still one, but it's probably not a franchise. It's probably just someone that has
someone who just bought the rights to the name for it. It's like it was a short sale on everything, and everything must go, and even our name.
Now, do you ever see maybe they make a comeback? Because I see records make a comeback. Now, I don't think there's probably a huge market for records, but I don't see CDs really anymore. I see more records on shelves.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because that's what my company at the time was Technicolor. Now it's Mantiva, and now it's Connective or something like that. But that's what they transitioned into. So they're located, like their main manufacturing is down in Memphis, kind of a music hub of everything. And so they had to kind of realize, okay, DVDs are going away, but now people are collecting vinyl.
Sure.
And they're wanting to come up with vinyl. So they basically just completely rotated on that. We also did CDs. It's the same process for making CDs,
Okay,
DVDs, like
yeah.
very similar. But yeah, they started pressing vinyl. And so they're now one of the major distributors for vinyl across the U.S. But there's just, the volume is so much less
Yeah,
than,
I'm sure.
than what it was. But it's still kind of a cool little niche market. And that was the same with DVDs and Blu-rays. What started to sell towards the end was collectibles.
Okay.
So we saw like people who wanted like to have that Star Trek set
Sure.
with like some little add-on or a bunch of the anime stuff where it's like you have diehard collectibles here and people want this. That ended up being the market.
And collectibles, meaning it's plastic stuff that'll sit around and be worth a penny later in life?
It maybe never gets opened. Just sits on someone's shelf. That's
Remember the Beanie Baby phase?
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic. Well, so, I mean, I always miss kind of having something in my hand. Like when I went and get a CD, you look at the booklet and all
Yeah.
that. It was cool, but I also love the convenience of the digital too, because I can download a song in like 2 seconds and I don't have to go to the store, buy it, and then carry a Discman around. I mean, now it's all...
Well, you have to customize then for like those people that are like the true diehards.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had Garth Brooks collection set of like his entire catalog was one of the ones that came out like probably 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Okay.
And, it was all the add-on little pieces that you put in there, like the history, the book, a little special thing, and all of that. That became kind of the game.
So you had to make it kind of special for those people.
Yeah, exactly.
So then when it did go to digital, then what happened did your role get reduced? Or
Oh, yeah.
Is that why
Well,
you came back? Or not?
No. So I came back in 2020 because of COVID.
Okay.
My wife and I just kind of decided it was like we don't need to be stuck in Los Angeles with our 3 kids.
Sure.
And, we're getting the option to work remotely. And so I took that as like the opportunity, like come back. My dad's here. Her parents are here. We have family around the area. I mean, it's beautiful here.
Yeah,
And
It
we
is.
didn't want to be locked in a little tiny house with 3 kids for the entirety of however long COVID was going to be going on for, because they were restricting things out there pretty heavily.
I remember that. That's interesting. So now you talked about Walmart and Amazon and all that, and how did that work for you? Were you consulting for them, or how does all that work within that market?
So with Amazon, it was within that market. So it was like we were working with them, going to their facilities, seeing how their distribution centers worked and operated to figure out how we can be really efficient with moving product into them. Like, how can we give them product at just the right time so they don't have to fill up their shelves?
Gotcha.
So we worked with them hand in hand, and they had a big DC in just outside of Memphis as well. Really cool spot. Like everything's automated, and it's just crazy to kind of see the facility. And just walk through that whole process.
And there's like robots going around and doing things?
Well, everything's it goes in one door and just gets routed to wherever it needs to be.
Jeez.
There are a bunch of robots. There's like the ones packing and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the big arms and stuff. But then you have people kind of doing the individual kind of, this is the next thing that needs to go in this box. This is what goes in this
Gotcha.
box. And yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that flow of product through there and kind of what they did. So that was kind of the capacity I had with them. It was
Yeah.
a little different. Walmart I actually worked for. That was...
Oh, you do actually work for them?
Yeah, I worked for Walmart e-commerce. That was between, call it my gap years of working for NBC Universal and coming back to work for...
So that was after like the Technicolor?
So I worked for NBC Universal, then it was Deloitte, and then it was Walmart e-commerce.
Okay.
And it was and I took 2.5, almost 3 years out of the entertainment industry. Then an old boss called me and was like, hey, you want to take a job and move back to Los Angeles and kind of work in the DVDs? It's like, good job overseeing all the account management for the studios. And that was kind of a fun little gig,
Yeah.
getting to hang out at Disney, getting to hang out at Warner Brothers and NBC Universal and Paramount. It was fun to kind of interact at that level. So I loved it.
That sounds like it'd be a very interesting life. Was it stressful?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's one of the other reasons why it's like, it was stressful. I was tied to a phone. You had, a team in Memphis I was working with all the time. They're working 2 hours ahead. Then you have the studios who are calling you nonstop, like a box could go missing. I mean, it was one of those jobs where I knew when I woke up at 8:30 in the morning, someone's going to be yelling at me.
Oh
Because
God.
your customer service, like
Yeah.
you're like, if a box goes missing or a truckload of DVDs, it was the same tone.
Oh no.
It was incredible. So that was stressful, and definitely gave me some perspective on kind of what I wanted to do next.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you also have done some consulting for the USPS and NATO. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
What does that entail? I mean, that sounds like it's totally different, but maybe it's not.
it was different. So basically, not really, same arena, different players on
Okay.
this one. So it's like I had graduated with my master's, and I was like, all right, let's go explore the world and figure out what I want to do. And I ended up applying for a job in Washington, D.C., and basically consulting for the federal government. And so it was just all federal projects that you were going to be doing. And, my focus was going to be just supply chain.
Okay.
Supply chain efficiency, things like that. How can we improve like Air Force or inventory tracking management system? Like how can you improve that? NATO logistics flows, because they built the new headquarters back in 2013.
Okay.
So they were building this huge, I think at the time it was the biggest structure being built in Europe. This building that looks like hands kind of linking up, these big arches and stuff like that. And how do you move product through this one knowing that there's security?
Gotcha. So it was like a supply chain, but just different.
Yeah, it's like you're working on a different scale. It's like
Yeah.
you're working on warehousing project and stuff
Okay.
like that for that building, which is, highly secure. And how do you move product in and out of it safely? Security checkpoints. What do you do? Like, how do you make this work? Knowing all of that's kind of going on. So we got to go out there and live for a bit of time in Brussels and
Where's Brussels at?
in Belgium.
Belgium. So you live there too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
gee, when was that?
So same time we were living it. We still have a place in D.C.
Okay.
The company just moved us out there for a period of time to get this project done.
You and your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been a lot more places than just California.
Yeah, we jumped around those years. We didn't have kids yet.
Okay. Yeah, so it's okay.
We didn't have kids, so it was like, well, about 9 months after we left Brussels, we did have our first kid.
Yeah, okay.
But it was kind of one of those things of like, you're not going to get this chance again.
Sure.
And it's like, when do you get that opportunity to kind of explore, go out there? We're in Europe. Deloitte's paying the bills for everything of like, you can go out for dinner. It's on them. It's you want to do
nice.
like we could jump on a plane, like a little Ryanair plane, and go to Italy, which is like an hour away, or drive to Bastille Day in France for that little festival, which is a blast.
That's fun.
Yeah, so it was like we just had fun. And
Yeah.
so it was like a really good time, a great experience. But it was one of those things where it's coming to an end at a certain point.
Okay.
And, once that NATO project wrapped up, it was like, okay, you got another project with the United States Postal Service of how do you make them more efficient?
Yeah.
And because they're losing $6 billion a year, whatever it was.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's right. I think I did hear about that.
Yes.
It was a lot of money per year.
So it was like, how do you improve that supply chain to where they're not losing so much money? And that was the project. And once that wrapped up, they wanted to move me to, I think it was either choice was going to be Mozambique and doing like a U.S. aid project,
Okay.
or Bogota, Colombia, doing another kind of aid work. And my wife's pregnant at the time. And I'm like, well, we can't just travel to these. That one was Lagos, Nigeria, and it was like, I can't bring my kids here. I can't bring my wife here. It's like this is
Yeah.
more of a security concern, and it's like it's not as safe as living
Yeah.
in Belgium. So
Well, I can only imagine. Like, was your wife working at the time?
No,
I was
no.
gonna say, how would she be working if you're traveling everywhere?
No. So
Okay.
we that ended. This was just kind of such a good opportunity. Again, kind of that once in a lifetime you get to kind of do that one.
Yep.
So no, we decided. She decided that not working, stop that. Then she was pregnant, and those jobs came up, and I was like, I can't do this job anymore. I can't
Yeah.
travel this much. I'm not going to see my kids ever.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. You you know that one. You're a recent dad here. So.
I am. And now when this releases, we'll be on a cruise. So I'm very intrigued, and my wife and I are going to do a podcast on the 6th day of the cruise. We're on a 7-day cruise about what it's like taking a 9-month-old on a cruise or on vacation, because we're both like, what do we pack? How much do we pack of it? And so we're kind of, I understand that aspect of like, I can't just be traveling all the time. And if I bring a kid, boy, that's like bringing someone that knows nothing. So I'm going for 2 here now. So I can understand how you'd have that problem. Like, I got to eventually be done here.
You got to think about like the care of them, like what's going to be reasonable, especially if you're doing something like that where like, yep, you two are it. You got to watch the child here.
Someone has to.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have the built-in child care. That's it. Maybe your cruise does. I don't know. But
there is child care, yes.
That's nice. But yeah, it's super, like you got to take this and kind of look at it and be like, okay, what are my priorities? And that's kind of why I decided to leave Deloitte and go to Walmart e-commerce out, and then we jumped across the country, went to San Francisco.
Oh, jeez.
When my daughter was 3 weeks old.
Okay.
And let's try this out. Working in their e-commerce business, super cool, but not a good fit for me. It was like the work-life balance was not there at all.
Yeah, that would be pretty tough, and I know because like you said, I'm a recent father, and I was teaching for 10 years, and I couldn't imagine right now teaching, and then all the real estate that's happening at the moment, this is like the busiest I've ever been. Yeah. So I couldn't even imagine. And then also having my girl, because I stay home in the mornings with her until about noon, and then we have a nanny come in, which is nice. And then I get to go and do my thing until the end of the day. Yeah. So it does work out well, but it's awesome also having that morning with her and helping her develop as well. So I totally get the whole thing. Like, you want to be around for the development of your child or children,
Yeah, absolutely. So. And it's like you don't want to, you get one shot at that. So it's like, get it right.
That's right.
Get it right.
I want to circle back to something. You were talking about you worked for Amazon and Walmart. Which one's bigger than distribution-wise? Is it Amazon or is it Walmart?
I think at this point, so back in 2014, Walmart had just surpassed them in terms of growth.
Okay.
Their growth rate was higher. Amazon was still bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, for what they're shipping out, but Walmart had kicked it up a notch and realized, hey, we need to actually put some effort into this. Same with like Target, I think, moved out to San Francisco because they realized they need to step up their e-commerce business.
And e-commerce meaning online stuff?
Yeah, their online distribution. Yep. Like we were doing, like my team oversaw the ship from store, like the trial run of this, of like setting that up, and it was, how do you ship from a store that isn't set up for doing this one? What products do you hold in house? But at that point, then it became kind of a dogfight for who's, Walmart's still, king of retail.
Okay.
And now let's make sure we don't become a blockbuster.
Sure, yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, it's like let's get on board with this and put some money into it, and they had a ton of money, so they did, and they built up a crazy infrastructure. I mean, there's one couple here in Minnesota where we have these big Walmart facilities, and they're really cool and high tech because they're also newer, and Amazon built up a lot a few years ago prior to that, so it's like they have push the envelope a little bit more to where how good those supply chains run and how efficient they are.
Well, okay, so question for you. Maybe you can answer this, maybe you can. I feel like you can. So yesterday, it was Sunday, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, I ordered something for my dad from Amazon, and it said it'll be here the next day. How the hell did it get here today, less than about 24 hours after I placed that order? Is there like facilities nearby that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those products will be highlighted as something local to you. That's the only way they can make that thing. Amazon made deals with USPS to also operate some volume on Sundays and start to move product.
Okay.
They also built that in-house freight service to where you see all those Amazon trucks.
Yep.
So they can kind of leverage those to still move stuff, but it's all within like a certain range, and it's only a limited number of SKUs that can do that. If you're in a major market area, that SKU list explodes to how much you can get like same day.
Sure.
The same day stuff is wild. When you're like,
yeah, it would be.
I asked for this and I'm going to get it that same day, which is nuts.
I haven't had that one yet. I've only had the next day, and I still think that's crazy.
The best we can do around here, just given the proximity.
Yeah.
If you're close to one of the places, boom, it's there.
Okay, I was wondering that. I'm like, wow, I don't know where it's coming from, but I was like wondering how did
It's
it
just
get
magic. It's just magic.
I don't ask how the sausage is made.
There's elves working in the background over here,
Santa Claus.
Exactly. They got to do something in the off season.
Yeah, well, we go back off of you look for trends. That's kind of your thing. Do you see e-commerce getting bigger, and if so, how does it get bigger than it already is? Because in my mind, e-commerce is just crazy. Like pretty much everything you go online and look for. I mean, now I'm the kind of guy, I don't like shopping for clothes online. I want to go and try it on. And my wife will tell you I'm the most picky clothes shopper in the world. I like my pants baggy. I'm still from early 2000s. I like my stuff not to fit too tight, but not too loose.
Chris, you got it right. You got it right here.
I got it right
You're
here.
looking good. You're looking good. We get it. We get it.
So what do you think is next for e-commerce? Can it get bigger than what it is? And if so, how does it do that?
Yeah, it's like it's going to continue to grow. It's going to, one of those things where how do they start to integrate with like small businesses and things like that a bit more to get their kind of products on their platform? And then how do you navigate through getting that product out to people? It's kind of like, Etsy does a little bit of that where it's working with a lot of small businesses and stuff. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of cannibalization probably of things where, Amazon does that already, where it's like they get a product line that's that's not made by them, that's external customer, then they'll see the buying trends on this stuff and how good it's selling, then they'll make their own.
Oh, shit.
They'll do it and they'll get it. Look at it
for cheaper.
Yeah, look at DVDs and Blu-rays. You can say the same thing for them. It's like, oh yeah, we're selling a lot of these. Now we have Prime Video.
Yeah, I know. Now everyone's got a streaming service.
Yeah, it's like they knew how to. It's sad because it's like they look at the people that they're making these agreements with, but at the back of their mind they're thinking, how could I do that better?
So everyone's the guinea pig. Amazon just does it better and cheaper.
So then they figure out which products they're going to kind of take. It's wild. And I don't know if Walmart's really getting on board with that, but Amazon, you're seeing it more and more. And so it's like they figure out what works. And if it's something that's easy to make, if it's something that's got enough of a margin for them to invest into, they're going to do it.
Are they going to start making their own cars for their deliveries?
Probably.
Dude, I could see that. And they'll probably be automated.
They're going to be horribly ugly.
Oh.
They're just going to be just straight efficiency, kind of like
just ass ugly.
Yeah, just nothing pretty about it. It'll be like just built purely for the capacity and just ugly.
Okay, I got a question. This is a good one. This is kind of funny. When you were distributing DVDs and stuff, did you ever have to do any dirty DVDs?
No. Oh, God. Well, some of the anime really got close.
Okay. The anime?
Some of the anime.
Some wild stuff.
Yeah, there's some wild stuff out there with the anime. Interesting you say that because that was kind of like the, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. Some of that stuff was really, like that was kind of the wild, wild west of everything. They were the ones that got into VHS because you didn't want to go to a theater, you didn't want to have all that stuff, you don't have that one. So they were the ones that basically spearheaded VHS coming out, and then digital and things like that, they were behind a little bit of that too. And so they were kind of ahead of the curve of how do you...
The porn industry?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's
fun fact, kids.
It's a dirty business, but
it is a dirty business.
Someone had to pull the trigger. They had a reason to do it because they had a market and had people that want to go to it.
Sure.
It's just something I picked that one up from someone that was, well, he was working at Disney, oddly enough, but he was around for that whole kind of transition period of when VHS came out. And
sure.
He was, years older than us, and he kind of explained that to me of like, that's what tapes were really expensive, and but they were the first to do it, really, like first to really market it.
That's hilarious. Well, I had to ask that.
There you go.
That's an interesting tidbit, folks. But I want to go now. COVID comes around and you decide you're going to move back.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it because everything slowed down and obviously you said you didn't want to be stuck at home in a small house, but was it because everything slowed down, or you're just like, hey, you know what? We kind of miss our family at the same time?
Well, we actually had moved back with the intent of, like, because we didn't know how long it was going to last. We were thinking we might actually end up in Dallas.
Oh, really?
Because I have a lot of family there as well.
Oh, okay.
And then it was kind of situational where, mortgage price, like that, rates are extremely low.
Yeah,
At that point, there's houses that have been sitting on the market here in Winona for a little while. And we're like, this might be a buying opportunity. And then we start liking it. The kids start liking the area a bit more. And we're just like, yeah, let's do this. And let's see what this is about. And having kind of the family aspect, like the grandparents around, that really kind of sold it.
Yeah, and I bet your kids never even really knew this place.
Yeah, they didn't really much at all. They'd spent a bit of time here, but it was like here and there. But once we came back, it was kind of like, I'd ask them all the time, like, you like it here or there more? And like, they like it here more.
Yeah.
It was more kind of the, my kids could go out of the house and explore the neighborhood and play with friends and run around.
Yeah.
A lot more freedom than we had there, and so they fell in love with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's within like 10 minutes here. So you're not battling traffic to do. You could go do multiple things in one day here.
Yeah.
You can go run the lake, bike a bike trail, go on the river, and you can do all that in one day.
Yep.
And there's no traffic. I mean, the traffic's limited. I always think everywhere in Winona, I can be there in 10 minutes or so. It's pretty much the whole thing. And you tell me Rolling Stone, I'm like, well, that's about 20.
Yeah.
So I had to show a house out there today. I'm like, I got to do 20 minutes. So it's a little bit different. I know. And then I go all the way out there. And I bet in L.A., you're probably like,
20 minutes was like,
that was awesome.
That was the bar. Like 20 minutes was like as close as it gets for anything. So you're like, yeah, you're not getting anywhere. It's
I
like,
know.
I have to explain to my kids now. It's like we lived maybe 8 miles from the beach, but it would take an hour.
Jeez.
To get there.
It took me an hour in Atlanta traffic to go from where I lived, and I think it was 9 exits down, to the wrestling school facility, and it took me, if it was traffic hour, it was an hour and 10 probably. Oh. It was miserable because everyone, and obviously where I had to go was on the truck route too, because it was 275 goes around Atlanta, and that was just miserable.
Yeah, I don't miss that at all. Like I was at the point where I was like riding my bike to work, so because I could get there faster on a bike.
Yeah,
it was much easier.
Yeah, so you come back here, and now you're a financial advisor.
Yeah, we did a few years. So when DVDs went away in 2023, basically at Walmart. It was like everyone was just kind of laid off in customer service. Like it was just a lot of people gone. I got a little bit of a leeway on, heads up. And then that heads up actually kept shortening, kept pulling the timeline. But then it was like, hey, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, and what do I want to do? And what's going to work with me? It's like I had been pushing, my entire career, burning the candles both ends. Where it's like my kids are sitting there mimicking me because I'm always like, they're just like, hey, look, I'm dad, like acting like they're on the phone. It's like, because I was tied to it, and I like the job, high stress, but it was like, what do I want to do? What gives me some of the freedoms that I want to have? Like coaching, that was one of the things where it's like I wanted to coach, I wanted to do that, and it's like, how do I get that freedom? How do I also get to spend the most time with my kids, and what am I interested in?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I always liked the markets. I always liked researching companies, is saying like, understanding why companies are working out and doing well. For me, it was always kind of very simple kind of formula, which is what are people buying? What am I buying on a daily basis?
Right. Yep.
And who's doing it right? Like this is where the supply chain kind of meets the trend of what's out there. And I'm like, who has a good supply chain and who's being efficient? And then also, but first and foremost, is this a product I would buy? Yeah. And I always think about that with like Chipotle.
Sure.
Love Chipotle.
Okay.
And it's like, I remember when it was like, it came out and it's like, yeah, I buy that. And then they went public and also they just, every year just keep growing. And
really?
Yeah, they just...
I mean, I know they just came into town here.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of shocking since we have Qdoba, too. To me, they're the same place, but...
I wouldn't agree with you, but...
Well, that's fine. I went to Chipotle once, and the only reason I go to Qdoba as much is because it's on my side of town.
Yep.
So, but we did go to Chipotle, and I actually enjoyed it, because I've never had it before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I
That
live
is-
under a rock.
I would not expect that.
No, and then I was like, well, that's pretty good. And actually, I was like, well, this is really good here. And then over Qdoba, I like this a little better.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, I like the chips better at Chipotle, but I like their spicy queso over at Qdoba.
Yep.
And
It's like
if
the
I could just take
guac
a little
from
bit.
Chipotle and then the rest from Qdoba.
Yeah, well, I like both of them. Like, you can send me to both, and I'm like, well, I'm good with that, whatever.
Yeah.
So you like to look at things that you would buy, and that's how you kind of like to make your decisions on. You would invest in this company for stocks and stuff of that nature, and then you like to look for the trends too.
Yeah, it's like looking at that and then who's set up for success.
And
like
that's fun for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like who's doing it right.
Yeah.
And can I see kind of like, oh, I get what they're doing. I get how they're scaling up. I can kind of see where this is headed.
How do you find that? Like, how do you know that they have a good like supply chain or they're going to grow? How would you know that?
I've
Just reading articles? Or?
Well, some of that, getting to see kind of what their footprint is, what they're actually doing. Like for Amazon, when they were losing money 10 years ago all the time, and people were like, well,
Yeah.
why is the stock price so high? It's like, just wait. Because Amazon's whole theory is lifetime value of a customer. They will lose money to begin with, knowing that the lifetime value of the customer is going to bring them profits.
Forever.
So that's exactly. So they take
Yeah.
a look at the whole trajectory of where that customer is going to be
Sure.
and how long they're going to be with them, and they'll take those losses to begin with, and that was 10 years ago, and now they're making just fistloads of money.
Yeah. Okay. So I get that. Then that's totally understandable. And that's cool that you enjoy that kind of stuff because that's probably not everyone's cup of tea. Some people might find that very maybe boring. But that you nerd out about that. A lot of people come on here and they're like, I nerd out about this. I nerd out about that. And this is your
Yeah,
thing.
this is definitely one of those things. I nerd out about it, and like I can get into weird conversations with people. Like,
But it's because of your background that you had,
Yeah.
the supply chain thing. So you had to look for those trends and you had to look for what was working and what wasn't. So then you're able to make decisions based on
I
that.
love when someone comes now into the office and they're like, hey, let's like take a look at this company. I kind of want to invest in them. And it's like, I mean, let me dive in. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I like doing this. So like, I'll dive into it, see what I kind of think makes sense and give you, I may not say, hey, I'm not going to say go at this one and buy this one. I'm going to say, here's kind of what's going on with the company.
Okay.
Like just give you a perspective and let you make your kind of choice on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Here's why people are potentially maybe talking about them. Here's maybe what they got in the burner here that's coming out soon and it's going to,
Yeah.
maybe change up things. And just be really just kind of, it's just kind of interesting to me to kind of see that one and talk through it with the client and say, this is, this is something that's kind of cool, and
Sure.
here's something I can show you. I'm not, necessarily going to say, yeah, go put all your money into that. Like,
yeah.
which-
Well, that would be very liable on
Exactly.
your end. And
Yes.
same with real estate. We have, here's what's good about this house. Here's what's maybe not. You have to go make your, decision on it as well. It's the same thing. We don't be held liable. It's like
Yeah.
when you get an inspector, I think we're supposed to give about 3 or more inspectors. So we don't say, hey, this is the guy to go to, because then if he does something wrong, they come back and go, well, you told me this guy was great or this person was great.
Yeah, you want to give them information and
Yep.
perspective.
Yeah, and as adults, we can all make our decision based on some
Yeah.
research and results. So then, did you have to go to school then for this, or?
Yeah, so it was like a total rebranding.
Oh,
for me.
no.
It wasn't school. It was like you have to pass tests, like these
Okay.
really tedious tests where 3-hour long different tests, and you have to do a number of them in
Yeah.
order to get licensed to be a rep. So it worked out to where I'm out there looking for a gig, and I'm starting to kind of talk with people, meeting with some other people that are financial advisors, and then just so happens, Phil ends up reaching out to me.
Yeah, and I've known Phil for years from the Y.
Yeah, and so Phil reaches out and he kind of explains to me the business. It's like I had talked to some of like some of the bigger firms where it's like the Edward Jones or Northwestern Mutual, and it's like, that was kind of corporate, and I wasn't huge into getting back into that arena. Less
Okay.
control kind of the schedule, things like that.
So if you were to go there, you would have to kind of be like, hey, I got to be here from 9 to 5, or is
There's a bit more structure
Okay.
kind of on that. It's like you're also kind of, you're just in that corporate kind of feel where it's like
Sure.
you don't necessarily own your own destiny here.
Okay.
And so with Phil, it was like we went and sat down and just had a cup of coffee, and it was like 30 minutes into this being like an independent advisor, I was like, him explain it to me, and I'm like, all right, this makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, this is going to be, I like the independence that I have here. It took an hour and a half, and I'm like, I'm sold, I'm in. Like, this absolutely sounds exactly like what I'm looking for. He was able to kind of bring me in and introduce me to some of the people that work there, and the vibes were really good. Working with Tracy and Hope there. Now we got a new guy, Dylan, who's in the office that just graduated. So it just kind of, the vibe works really well. We get along. We have Phil there for kind of like the experience of it, because, you start at one of these places, start a new gig in some of this, and, you could fall flat if you don't have kind of know everything that's going on there.
Sure.
He had been doing it for 40 years, so I kind of had that to leverage.
That's nice.
Just the knowledge base, and hey, is this make sense to you, and kind of bounce ideas off of. So that made some of that growing pain extremely easy for me.
Okay.
And then it's now kind of now how do we get up and running? How do we grow the business? How do we do things?
Yeah.
And what should we be doing? And where are we headed with this? And it's oh yeah, we want to keep pushing the envelope, bringing people in, and it's fun because it's a lot of this on a day-to-day basis.
Just talking to your customers?
You're talking to them, you're getting to know them, understand kind of what their background is, and it's just a lot of fun conversation.
Yeah, and you and me, literally, our relationship grew by just me talking to you at trivia over the course of a couple of years, and then I switched over, and you and me had a sit-down conversation, and I go, I don't know much about this, so we sat down for about an hour, and we talked a little bit, and you kind of gave me some stuff. I'm like, I'm still not really sure. I just said, just make me some money.
Make some money.
All I said, let's do some risky stuff because I'm young. So that was my whole criteria.
And that's a profile. That's that's what it is. You got to know kind of who your client is. You got to understand what they're into, what they're willing to what their tolerance is on everything. And best way to do that is just sitting down and chatting with a person and seeing what they're thinking and why. And then understanding where you can maybe lead them in a better direction if they're, not putting things into certain areas where there could be some advantages to, or just making sure they get set up for retirement. I mean, that's the big thing. It's
sure.
For me, there's nothing better than this job where you're actually sitting there and you're you can tell a person, hey, you can retire.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good.
That's awesome. Well, now you said that there's a difference between a corporate structure compared to what you're doing, but it's all the same stuff roughly. You're still working on my retirement by putting me into stocks and stuff of that nature. What was a big difference between the corporate structure versus, what do you call it? Independent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Independent. It's going to be the hierarchy of you're going to be kind of reporting into people and
Sure,
doing that.
okay.
It's I've done that.
Yep.
For years, and being on that side of things, it's I didn't really want to get myself pinned into another situation where it's okay, I'm not only beholden to the customer, but also this other guy who, doesn't really have a hand in my day today. Mm-hmm. So, plus it's just, I wanted to be able to kind of do my own thing with how, kind of the freedom of being able to make my own schedule. And really kind of push things that I believe in. There's some things investments that I just don't really want to push. And, other companies, they could be saying, hey, you should really be going and selling this product or whatnot. And I wasn't looking for that. And I think Phil knew that one right away, too. And
sure.
So it's no, I kind of want to stick to straightforward things. I don't want to be putting people into things that I could barely explain.
Sure.
And what people are, you're going to be talking over people's heads.
Yeah.
In certain areas. When you start talking about puts and calls and stuff like that.
I don't know what you just said there.
Exactly. And it's so I'm going to have someone get upset because they lost a bunch of money because they put them in something now they don't understand what they got into.
Yeah.
So that's where it's
oh, that'd be tough.
Let's be straightforward here, and I don't so that's where I kind of felt this was a better fit for me.
Yep.
And again, it was the big thing of I can do this. I can see my kids when I want to. I can take the day off without having to go make sure 10 different people are aware of it and approve it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
So yeah, and it kind of reminds me of myself because I'm in my dad and I, and there's one other guy that's at a real estate company. We can kind of dictate things we don't have any fees up front like some agencies, some real estate agencies have a file maintenance fee. I always laugh at that one because my files are literally right next to me. I can maintain them pretty simply, and it doesn't cost me $500 to do that. So I do like that I can do some things like that. Obviously, with real estate, we still have to follow rules, but the person I have to talk to is my dad. This is a broker, so it's pretty easy. Like, just shout over across to the office. I'm like, hey, I got a question for you, and it's real simple.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. It's like I don't want to charge a commission on something where it's like literally I'm just going in and typing in something for 2 seconds and being like, I don't want to, like, there's no exorbitant fee that's coming along with this because, I mean, that's a relatively easy task to do. It's like they want something, that's great. And like that's not the core of our business. It's mostly like the kind of managing people's assets and making sure that we have that. It's like if someone wants to buy and sell something, why would I charge an arm and a leg?
Yeah.
And I didn't like that idea of things too. I wanted to own kind of the commission rates of fees and stuff like that. So you know that it's reasonable.
Yeah. And I feel like when you're independent, you may care a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure everyone probably still cares. But you're like, Financial Services of Winona, I'm pretty sure everyone knows everyone that's there within the community because, I mean, I've known Phil, like I said, for years. Him and I, we talk in the sauna all the time. We talk sports mainly for the most part.
He's a competitive guy.
Yeah, I know he is. He's talking about his golf game all the time.
Yes.
He's like, I'm golfing every single day this last summer. And then I know you now on a personal level, and I walk in the office, they go, hey, Chris. And I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm not sure I even have met you, but...
Well, that was like the cool thing coming into it, and not really, like once we started up, I started sitting in on meetings, and it's like, wow, I know like half the people coming in. Yeah. And it's like, maybe I hadn't seen them since I moved, but it's like, you'll see people where you're like, I knew your kid. It's like, there's some association where it makes things super easy to have a conversation where it's like, I want to do the best by you. It's like every one of my clients, but it makes it so much simpler when you already have a connection that's there in place for you to kind of, build a rapport really fast.
Yeah, and the tough thing with your business and being in real estate is we have to treat our clients to the utmost respect or best interest in mind because we're going to see these people again within the community. Like, you're going to see me again, and if I do a piss poor job, I'm probably going to hear about it, and they're probably going to be badmouth, and we're a small town, so we don't want that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of knew about Phil, too, because we're fiduciaries. Like, we have to do the best by you. We can't just be trying to pat our own pockets. It's all in your best interest. And Phil, it's like he's been doing this for 40 years in the area. It's like if he weren't doing it right, he wouldn't have any clients.
Right, exactly.
And so it's like you kind of have that built-in kind of, he knows what he's talking about because he's been doing it for as long as he has.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice, and it's like getting to understand it, and that's where again that kind of bounce on. I mean, you have your dad and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's awesome to bounce those ideas.
Yeah, you have that experience, and you may not always agree on everything, but at least you can kind of get a different perspective.
Yeah. Well, I got a question then, and you can answer it if you want. What is like one company that you see trending that it seems like this would be a good one to put some investment in? Can you speak on that or not? Because if you can't, no big deal.
I wouldn't want to say it's like I see companies that are kind of being innovative in what they do. Again, it's like some of these larger companies are always pushing the envelope a little bit, and you look at some of these chip companies and what they're doing, and
like the ones that go into automobiles or just chips in general.
Like just in general.
I remember there was a shortage back in like COVID times. Yeah. Remember, there was a shortage on chips, and you couldn't buy a new car, so used cars were going up.
Well, yeah. Now you have like NVIDIA, who's making chips, and they're one of the largest companies. Like they're kind of like that hidden giant, where no one realizes actually how big. And they just blew up in that time frame, to where multi-trillion-dollar company essentially, and. I think they kind of went under the radar with a lot of people don't know. It's like not a...
I wouldn't think about I wouldn't think about investing in chips because I just don't think about them.
Yeah, but they're in everything.
I know, and I don't even realize it.
And then they kind of did that kind of bounce off to where it's like, okay, Bitcoin. You mind for Bitcoin, it's like you actually need chips and you want like the best chips to actually do that. So there's like correlations here that happen where it's like, well, if Bitcoin's $100,000 a share, it's not right now. It's like 68, I think, something like that. They're up that much. People are willing to pay more money to mine for coins and buy these expensive chips. So it's like you start to kind of see like, okay, why is this doing that? And like, Bitcoin's up here, people are buying more chips and things like that.
Yeah.
We had a shortage of chips in the U.S., so it's like all this stuff kind of is interesting to kind of see unfold a little bit. So you have those like NVIDIA, Microsoft, your random AMD now, I think, kind of going up a bit, where there's only higher demand growing for these things because everything's getting more automated. AI is definitely making a push. So it's changing things.
I still don't understand Bitcoin. I'm sure there's a whole podcast I could listen to.
I don't even want to try to.
Oh,
it's like,
man.
that's something, it's like you get that every couple of weeks. Someone's like, you do Bitcoin? No, I don't. It's like, I don't want to have to explain it. It's like, I get it. It's like a situation where you're an uncoupled kind of currency from other things, but we have no idea what it could just blow up. And like we saw recently, I mean, it was sitting at a high of $126,000 or something like that, and now it drops down to like $66,000. That's a lot of money lost for someone.
I still don't get it. How do you mine digital currency?
I have not tried.
I had a buddy try to explain it. I still don't get it, and that's okay.
I get the basics, and it's just, but someone comes into our office, it's not something I'm even going to really talk. It's like, I'll talk about the companies that really kind of support and prop that up, to why people like your chip companies and stuff like that.
Sure.
That makes sense to me. There's a physical product, and like there's something there. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum here if they they want to get into it, but I would say, hey, be cautious.
Yeah.
Don't throw it all there, because you don't want something to happen and you to lose your shirt on this. So that's kind of my advice. Like, we get people that want to do it, but it's like going to the casino. If you go to the casino, don't bring your life savings.
Exactly. It's a good analogy.
Bring a couple dollars and have some fun with it, but
And
know your risk.
Expect to lose it.
Yeah, you know your limits, know what you can lose, and you can feel comfortable with.
I got another question, and we actually spoke off camera. This was a couple weeks ago. Is there any more, and I know this is probably going to be a big thing for new parents, is about the Trump accounts that are coming out. Do you have any information on that at all, or that you can speak on?
Yeah, so I'm kind of waiting to hear kind of where that goes. It's interesting, because you're in that situation where
I am in that situation.
You get the $1,000 potentially.
Yep.
But I don't know how they're going to roll out. They haven't really provided a ton of information for that. I mean, if it rolls out and it's like essentially like a Roth IRA type account for minors, and it's investing for retirement, and they're giving you $1,000 free, and there's other people that are also donating into it. Yeah, you got to go at that.
Yep.
Like tax deferred and everything it's the way it sounds is like there's going to be some tax advantage to these accounts.
Sure.
That's always a good thing. So I say we kind of want to see where that one goes.
Yep.
Because it's just like another option essentially for investing in like your kids.
Yep. Exactly.
You got your 529 education accounts, which does like a certain things. You have these other options, but this is just another tool in the shed here that's potentially going to be helpful down the road for some child that's, to get a leg up and potentially be able to retire, because who knows kind of what things are going to look like 20 years from now, how much more expensive things potentially are. So you want to do what's best for your kids.
Right.
I'll be doing the same thing. It's like, if it makes sense, you'll be the first person I call, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's really cool, because I think a lot of people probably have questions, but it's still kind of a little blurry. It's
evolving. I think in the next couple months, I think they said like June is like a timeline where they want to have a lot more information, or potentially even rolling them out or starting to.
Sure.
We got to kind of see what that looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now earlier you spoke on that you wanted to come back, and also you wanted to do some coaching as well. Did you get a coaching job then?
Oh yeah. So it was 2022, I think. So I've been coaching for pole vault for the senior high for the past. This will be my 5th season.
You coach pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting. Yes.
No shit.
Yeah. It's a niche little.
That is I don't even know where you start to practice this. Like, I know where to practice for basketball. You get a basketball, you start dribbling, you start shooting at a hoop. But I feel like pole vaulting could have a lot of error.
Yeah.
And not much room for error.
There is. It's like, I grew up just on South Baker, right outside the high school.
Yeah. Okay.
And so in 7th grade, coaches come over and say, "Hey, you want to try something new?" And I'm like, "What is it?" And they're like, pole vaulting. And I'm like, I remember it was Rick Miner came over to me, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do this. Like,
Let's do this.
I can break myself. I'm in 7th grade. I'll
Yeah,
be just
right.
fine." So I kind of took that up and went with it. And I was like, each year I'm like, yeah, I love this, and I could walk right over to the high school and just. I think I bought a pole for myself to be able to jump on. It's like I'd just go uncover the pits and be like, "Yep, I'm going to go jump for a little bit and just do this one." I don't think safety was a real big concern of mine, and I probably would have gotten in trouble if they knew how much I was jumping on those pits when I was a kid. Yeah, it's like, well, we didn't. I think Rick was there for 2 years with me. Then it was like 2 years without a coach, just period.
So you just had to learn on your own?
Just kind of figure it out.
And there's no YouTube really back then.
No.
There wasn't at all, actually.
No, it was like those projector kind of like black and whites where they're like, here's a person and here's how the pole's bending. And it's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, what we had to kind of learn off. It's like, you want your drive like to do this, and and then it scales up as the pole moves, and you see the person kind of like going across the stream of this picture. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh! Oh, so like the first time you ever did it, did you just like fall flat on your back, or
no? There was like a progression of it.
What's the progression of learning to pole vault?
It's like straight pole, like just like if you just took a stick and kind of moved yourself across the ground with it.
Okay.
And then it's, well, how much higher can I hold and keep doing this one and still make it forward?
Okay.
Now, when it gets tricky is when you start bending. And like you actually start bending, and then it's like, okay, this is wild. Like this feels weird.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of trial and error. I know back then it's like when I tried progressing up and I was making big jumps, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I remember there was probably a day at the senior high and it's on that old track that was in the back, you remember?
I remember.
And I probably went straight up and straight back down onto the runway probably like 50 times.
How high up were you going?
It was me trying to learn to jump on a 14-foot pole. And so I was 14 feet up. And it was just 14 feet up, boom, boom.
But you land on your feet?
Yeah, and you learn to roll out.
Okay.
Like I got really good at like,
tuck and roll, Granny.
So the difference now is like, I didn't have a coach when I was doing that. So it was like I just did it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I don't want you guys doing any of what I was doing. Like, so that is like a rarity that happens. Like you make slow progressions. Like, so you do these things where it's like, yeah, I went from just being able to swing from as high as I can hold to like, no, I'm an inch higher, an inch higher, an inch higher, and you just keep making these small progressions the entire time, rather than making big leaps and bounds, which I was thinking about doing. And so I kind of did that, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Like I went to college at St. Thomas, and I vaulted the entire time I was there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it was a blast. I absolutely loved it. And so, but then when I left St. Thomas, I just took a huge break from it. And then coming back to Winona, I think I saw Jed and Gleason sitting out running. I think I saw Jed running down the street, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to basically follow this guy to see if they need a pole vault coach.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I don't think they have one. And
Yeah.
sure enough, I'm sitting there, I'm talking with Gleason, and it's like, yeah, we definitely need a coach. And I'm like, I'll do that. Like, that sounds like fun. And so it kind of worked out from there to where it's like, yeah, that gets me back into it. And now I've been doing this a number of years, and it's like we're building up a program that, not every school has like someone that can really coach it. They may go from like videos, but they probably haven't actually done it.
Yeah, I can't imagine a whole lot of people know how to pole vault.
No, it's not big. You get a lot of gymnasts, I think.
I suppose.
A lot of people that have air awareness.
These garage doors, though, and if you look in the background, I think they're 10-foot doors, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, and you were pole vaulting 2 more sections up. So almost to the top of this building, you were falling back down and tucking and rolling?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like probably like mid ceiling here to where it's like you're going, because it's 8 inches down in the box, so you're come like 13 feet. It's just, you figure out how to do it. I can tell you, I took some really nasty ones
I bet.
on doing that, but for the most part, I stayed pretty clean on stuff. And now it's like I jump now even sometimes with
You
kids.
still do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit, and it's like I'm not going crazy with it, doing anything that's nuts, but something I can comfortably like kind of show people kind of here's like the process. Now I'm kind of backing out a little bit more from that because it's like we have now jumpers that understand how to do it. So when I first started, it's like you don't have anyone.
Okay, yeah.
So you kind of got to show some things. And so now it's like we got people that are in there that they can kind of take over the reins of doing that one. I'm coaching at St. Mary's as well, so it's like now I have.
Oh, you're coaching in college too?
Yeah, so it's
Cool.
like their vaulters got a lot of experience where I can be like I can leverage that and say, hey, you can show them how to do this, that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so we're kind of getting into that this year. I think we're going to use that a bit more because I've been there. Last year I started at St. Mary's, and now it's, we just had a fun little MIAC championship. The girl over there took second in the MIAC, which was at the conference meet on Friday. So that was kind of cool. And set a school record or tied the school record over at St. Mary's. So that was pretty cool to kind of see in just a really quick 1.5 years progression. And now it's like the high school programs. Like we got good athletes that are out there, and we have kind of young kids that are coming out that are starting this and are going to have a lot of build up because it's hard to just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm a senior. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to do it for 1 year. No.
No. It's going to take a couple years.
You can, and you can do a little bit, but it's going to take a couple years more than likely.
Yeah.
And so you want to have that for, like ideally it's like, 7th, 8th grade kind of coming in and learning how to do it because it just takes that long to kind of get to where you're really competitive.
So do the kids have to learn how to tuck and roll like you did back in the day still? Is there like pads all around?
I tell them like there's like if they you hold on, and if you do you roll, but there is more padding. The mats have gotten bigger.
Okay.
But it's just not something I'd coach to where it's like this shouldn't be a problem we have.
Okay.
You do see teams out there where I'm like, oh my God, like what are you like? What is this kid like? I'll get stressed at a meet, like seeing some kid that just repetitively is like getting stuck, just straight up. Like the pole will go up and they'll just stop right here.
Oh no!
And you're like, just hold on, like do not let go at the top of this thing. Like you got to ride this out and figure
fall
out
backwards.
Yeah, figure out what happens because that stuff's scary.
Have you ever gotten pegged in the nuts?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've seen some videos, and I'm like,
I had that same like week. I was probably learning this one. I got stuck up in the air, and then the pole rebent, and then it straightened.
God,
And it straightened. That was a really bad day for me. I think I went to the hospital that day. Yeah.
was that bad?
It was. Oh yeah. My mom was a nurse at the clinic, so she was like, she saw me, and I'm just like. It took me an hour probably to get home after that because I was again alone.
You were alone?
I didn't have anyone around me.
Oh no!
And so I struggled my way back to the house, and I'm just like, I was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, it was a bad day. It was a bad day. It's like,
man.
all right, we're gonna go to the doctor. Just make sure we're all good here.
So you love pole vault coaching then?
Love it.
Really? Okay, because you're the first person I've ever heard that pole vaults. I've seen it before. I've seen it done basically on YouTube or on TV. So I've never heard anybody go, I pole vault and then I coach too. So I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Hey, you want to come out there sometime? Who get you set up with something?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll stay on the ground. I don't think I'm going to be able to push myself over a 14-foot pole or whatever. I couldn't even see myself pushing myself over a 10-foot one. That's like going over a basketball hoop.
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of like those heights as they kind of get up there and put some perspective. Like, I think a lot of pole vaulters, when you kind of get into it, you start driving over, like seeing overpasses. And you're like, I could do that.
Oh, yeah. So like, what can I jump over?
That's a height I could get to.
Okay.
Like, 13.4, all right, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
15.4, okay, we can do that.
What's the highest you've ever gotten to?
Wow. Well, in practice it was 17.2, but that doesn't count. It was 16.4 and 16.3 3/4 inches.
Whatever,
like
16 feet we'll call her. That's a lot.
Yeah, over 16. Yeah, that was pretty good height for me.
Damn, that's awesome. Well, as we're starting to wind down here, I got some fun questions. I like to do some rapid fire questions, and you just answer them however you would.
Keep this over here.
Keep it over there. Yeah, I got some.
Let's
rapid
see what we
fire
got
questions
here
for you. All right, let's do some. So you're from Winona.
Yep.
Do you like Winona now or Winona back in the day? And back in the day, I mean, when you were a child.
Oh, I like it. I'm going to go now. More access, you know where to go, things to do. It's like I want to take my kids like tubing, stuff like that, or go sit out on like Airport Lake, would go swing on like the rope, something like that. It's like I know the stupid stuff to do, which is kind of fun. But now with like the downtown area, the way it's kind of growing in the past couple few years, where it's like, oh, we got restaurants now. Like
Yeah, I know.
it's great. So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it now too, more just like you do. I like it too. All right, what's some advice you would give someone that's leaving Winona?
Enjoy your time, but be appreciative of where you came from.
Ooh, that's a good one. What's the advice you give someone that's coming back?
Ooh, someone that's coming back. Someone coming back, I would say, take the perspective of the things that you've done and know that it's not going to be the same as where you were, but appreciate it, because this is like, there's amazing things about this town. Great atmosphere. People are wonderful here. So I just say, appreciate it, but bring in your kind of outside opinions on stuff. Like you got to bring kind of that view of like, hey, I've done this, and I've seen these things, and see how you can kind of bring it back in the community.
One thing I learned though is when I was away and I came back from a big town, is I realized it wasn't, going out on a limb wasn't as scary after I had been in, gone to a bigger city, done some things, putting myself out there wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. So maybe like kind of why I do this, because I'm not afraid. Like if someone bashes what I'm doing, I don't give a shit.
Well, it's like a you can add a few ingredients to the recipe type thing. It's
yeah.
like you've seen a few more things, and it's like how do you bring that back? And like I think that's one reason why we have some restaurants that we have here in town. I think that's why I think there are more people kind of coming back and actually doing this kind of route, especially in 2020 when COVID hit. It was like, small communities and finding jobs and working remotely is an actual possibility now. Like now, where would I like to go?
All right.
And why would you not want to be here?
Well, the one thing we don't have much of is like a sit-down restaurant. We don't have many franchises for restaurants. It's basically mom and pop type stuff, like Sliced, River City Grill, Two Brothers, those things. Like we don't have many. If it's fast food, yes, but most of the sit-down restaurants in town are not franchise.
I love that. Like, you talk. I mean, Sappori's. You got Blooming Grounds. You got. I mean, like the Heirloom. One of my favorite places, Nosh. Like, those places are fantastic. And it's like I love the fact that you kind of keep things local here. And it's like, I'm not a huge kind of person going out to like fast food just for kind of like I want to keep the money kind of here in town. Like that's,
sure, yeah.
It's like I want to support the small businesses that are here.
Unless it's Chipotle.
Yeah, that is a guilty. Well, here's my rule of thumb. It's
my rule of thumb.
There's so many restaurants closed on Mondays.
There are, yeah.
So many. So
Plato's is even now closed on Monday.
Monday's a cheat day.
Cheat day.
Monday's a cheat day.
Yeah.
So today, like once we get done here.
You're going to go cheat on all the Winona restaurants right now?
It's just that day.
I love it. All right, physical media or streaming media?
Streaming.
Streaming. Amazon or Walmart?
Amazon.
Amazon?
Ooh, actually, that's a tough one.
Ooh.
I'm sticking with Amazon.
Okay. Best decade of music?
Ooh.
I like my late 90s, early 2000s.
That's where I'm at too, though. It's right in there.
There was so much good rap. There was boy bands. There was John Mayer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You had Dave Matthews. You had
that's
still
right.
going. You got I mean, for me, Dre, and I mean 2001. That's a pretty solid one right there. If I'm talking any like pump up tracks, Eminem in kind of the heyday right there. So that's another. They're just all over the board. I like that genre right there.
I know. Okay, one app that you couldn't live without.
For me, it's just sad ones. It's like investments, like stock. Like I'm like a little teeter where I'm just like, all right, let's see what's going on.
I was not expecting that.
No, because I don't really have like a huge online kind of presence. Like I'm not putting stuff out there too much. I think my kids would be like, well, if you got rid of YouTube, we'd have a problem. But
I like Facebook. Facebook's one of my favorites.
I do. Facebook would probably be the closest one.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of interesting to kind of see what's going on. I like to post things about I don't post personally, but if someone posts something on my kid, like they got an award stuff, I want to be like, oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and I like to market, and I found out that I love marketing. I didn't realize
I do like
it.
marketplace.
Well, no, I'm just talking about
the
marketing in general,
marketing.
like marketing the podcast. I
Yep.
didn't realize I liked it and doing that with real estate. I found out I have a love for getting digital marketing out there.
I really should get into that a bit more, but yeah.
You should. We'll get you into that.
All
okay. Risk taker or calculated planner?
I'll risk taker for sure.
You are. Okay, good.
Well, I mean, it's like personally, like, yeah, I think I'm a bit, yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to finance, I have a big stomach for stuff where I'm okay with it.
All right. Next one then, kind of going along with this, coach's mindset or a consultant mindset?
That's a good one.
I know.
I probably lean more towards consulting mindset of like, I like coaching's like a good thing, but it's like I come off as kind of probably analytical,
Sure.
a bit like, hopefully not to some of the vaulters, like cold, because it's like, oh no, I'm just watching the process type things and see some success here.
All right, last one. Best advice that you've ever received?
I would say, something along the lines of like, enjoy the life you have and the ones around you.
Yep.
It won't last forever.
That's great. I had an 8th grade teacher that once said, adapt and overcome. And that's always stuck in my head. And I don't know why it did, but I always put that into my brain of like, okay, if something's going wrong, adapt to it, figure out how to overcome it. I always heard that one.
I like that.
It was so simple. It was adapt and overcome. And what we were working on was algebra. But I always thought of that. I'm like, this is just a great quote to always, because, everything's going to be a problem. You're going to have problems with clients. I'm going to have problems with clients. We just have to figure out how to get through it.
That sounds like a Bill Schmidt.
Bill Schmidt,
algebra teacher.
He was one of my favorite teachers, too. I always liked him in math. He was pretty good.
He was the best. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and I've known him, since I was young, because his wife is in real estate, too. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, Matt, first of all, thank you for coming on in because this is really fun. We learned a lot about your background, your financial, where you came to now to being a financial advisor and how you learned something basically all over again. You had to learn something brand new, and I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. But I really liked the fact, and, I put 2 and 2 together while we're just doing this, that you like trends. You're into trends, and that's what you do.
That is true.
That is what you do.
I do like spotting a good trend.
Yes, and that's just... That's why you're good at what you're doing, and I want to thank you one more time for coming on in, sharing some insight on your background, because I think it's really kind of a fun background that you have, and I'm sure you probably had a lot of fun doing it, and now you came home, and you're back here, and is there anything that's changed drastically from when you left to when you came back home that was kind of surprising at all?
I mean, again, the downtown area, just the way things kind of...
It's booming.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do, too. I think it's fantastic. It's good for the community. The fact that, you got corporations that are actually investing into this one. Some of the things that Kieran's put his money into before he passed and stuff like that, I think was just well spent, and it's going to help the community for a long time. Yeah,
I mean, I remember this downtown was pretty much a big failing downtown, like even just 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's wild.
And now you have people out there with clothing companies downtown.
Yes.
I've seen that, like Loft on 3rd, 507 Co. That's kind of cool. Got the new hotel. I love that idea. I love our brewery. Obviously, we both do.
Yep.
Trivias are fun on
just
Thursdays.
That street right there actually just looks so much better.
It does.
I mean, now that they fix up the buildings, like they're investing in that one. It's like if you go around town and you see all the masonry that's going around.
Yeah.
And it's just rejuvenating kind of, and it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, like you can kind of understand why people want to come here and visit and look around and see what's kind of going on in Winona.
Yeah, and you know what? One of my favorite things that they did was at the lake park there, they took, obviously the Wilkie went away, and remember how dirty it was when we were kids? Yeah. And now it's all nice and cleaned up. They have festivals down there, like the Big Muddy Brewing Q is down there.
Yeah, it's a good spot for it.
They have farmers markets down there. It's clean.
Yeah, I mean, I always like, why not use that area more the way that they are now? It's like I never could grasp that one of like, how is this space not getting used more? It's beautiful right there. And I did get a little frustrated when I was like, some of the restaurants like Godfather's where they had that beautiful kind of little patio area and need to be a pizza place, but it was like some of those things that overlook the water and actually get you to take it all in is kind of nice.
It is cool. Yeah. And so I like Winona. I'm okay that I'm here. I like it. And I'm glad you're
Yes.
back. And I think your kids are going to love it here too as they grow up, because you'll be more community based. You're going to be able to do a lot of things, especially in the summer. You can do all these fun things. I could deal without winter. I'm not a winter person, but I do love the summers here because I'm on the river a lot, softball, golf, those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't like even traveling anywhere in the summer just for that exact reason. It's
Sure.
like, if I'm going to do traveling, I'll travel in the winter and get out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But June, July, no. I'm going to stick around here.
Well, Matt, do you want to plug where they can find you if they want to invest?
Yeah, I mean, it's Financial Services Winona, just downtown here at 160 Lafayette. Come by, say hi. We'll love to meet new people.
Yeah, and I'll put the website in the show notes. So if you do want to find Matt, go invest, get your retirement fund going, because it's a lot more fun to retire with some money than to work until you're dead, right?
That is very true.
Well, for those who are listening, please like, share, subscribe, and share this with anybody who wants to just an interesting background, but also maybe wants to get their finances up, their long-term strategy goals. Matt's the guy to go to. He's been really fun getting to know him over the last 2 years. Even though he's 3 years older than me in high school, I didn't know you really then, but now I've gotten to know him, and it's awesome to get to know him and have him on the podcast. So I want to say one big cheers to Matt,
Cheers.
and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.